I think what was happening before is you basically had one group, one council that was making most of the decisions, and pretty much a lot of decisions of some of the other committees. You had other committees and other groups within the church that were kind of separate, and there wasn't really an overall plan for how everybody related to each other, how those groups related, and how it all fit together. But a lot of the other groups were looking to this central council, kind of like an elder group, to make decisions, and even some of the larger and smaller decisions. In some cases, that's fine. You need a group sometimes that will make a decision and set a course. But when the group gets responsible for too many things, what it was finding is that being on that committee was a lot of work, and even exhausting sometimes. And what our leadership was finding is that they were finding it hard to get other people, as terms went up, and it was hard to find new people to take over the positions. So what the process led to was a new leadership model that emphasized some clear areas of responsibility and kind of organized around elements like discipleship and stewardship and mission, church life, worship. Before, one committee's making decisions across, too many decisions across the board, and now the work was kind of being spread out among a more diverse group that included a lot more people. And not that this solves everything either. Now that you have more people, there's also some communication issues there that we have to work on as well. You have more people in the loop, so we have to really clarify how it is that we communicate and how we report to each other. To me, one of the greatest benefits of this switch was that there's a new degree of permission granted to each of these new groups, whether you're in discipleship or worship, whatever it is. Each commission, is what we call them now, basically has permission to make the decisions that it needs to make as long as it fits within the congregational focus and the budget. So everything's not passing through one group that's vetoing or saying yes and saying yes or no to everything. And I think what the step has done so far is encouraged us to explore some new and creative ways of doing ministry. It doesn't always happen. We still struggle with the temptation to just copy what another church is doing that's been successful. And I have this temptation. I've done it before too. We still do some of that stuff, and there is that temptation. But I think one of the cool things is that there is a freedom to think of new ways and to experiment with some new ideas, kind of a trial and error sort of thing, which has been refreshing. Just a couple examples. We last year decided to, I think probably for 100 years we've done VBS in summer, in June, probably the same week, and that's been one of our main elements of children's ministry. Started to find that it we're having a lower turnout, not just from children, but also from really any adults and other church members that were really energized by this program. It had kind of run its course, and decided to try a more intergenerational approach, a new type of program that we decided to do it'd be for children, but also for the whole congregation. And instead of running this in the summertime, it would be run during Lent as sort of do a week at a time for 5 or 6 weeks. And we tried to go back to some of the families that we've connected to in the community through VBS, try to reconnect with them, and advertise it, and did this actually in 2007. And we didn't get the turnout that we wanted. It wasn't, you kind of hope to get a couple hundred kids, back, I think that's probably 5-10 years ago, there was that for the VBS program. We didn't get that. We did have a wider age group participating from our church, and some other ages. So we had grandparents coming to this and able to interact with the young children. And for a church that kind of has been age group centered for a lot of our programs, I think there was some benefit in there. And to me, an important thing was that it was an attempt to try something new and out of the ordinary. Whether or not we got the numbers or not, I think it was an important step. Another thing that has just happened recently, we had one of our church leaders was interested in starting a midweek children's program for preschool students, basically a ministry to parents that can drop their preschool children off for a few hours on a Thursday morning, and you'd have a teaching time and some games and craft, things like that. The program has started. It was talked about for a few months and started. It's been steadily growing. It's not something that's huge, but it has been picking up some more children, some other families getting involved. And it's been neat to see. We have some other adults from our church as well that have kind of plugged into this and kind of caught the vision for it. But it was neat. It was one person passionate about an idea and who had permission really within a new structural process to do something about it.